Hi guys, so this is kind of a shit. So I'm walking home from work. I was just grabbing some stuff from the gas station. I'm gonna have a bit of a movie night, but this is kind of a different video, but kind of what I wanted to talk about tonight was this is more on a serious note. If you're subscribed to my channel, you'll know that I post mainly funny content and memes revolving around To Catch a Predator, or I make silly music videos and just memes and stuff, and shit posts or movie reviews, but excuse me, my channel kind of revolves around a little bit of everything, and tonight I just want to talk about since I've been facing this problem my whole life, and it is a serious one, is I just kind of want to give some quick advice on how to deal with an alcoholic family member, or someone, like an alcoholic father or something like that, or someone who struggles with alcoholism. And so, sorry, this is a lot for me because I'm still coping with it, but all I can say is that the first thing to really acknowledge is that it's never your fault, and you should never feel like you're at fault for someone else's addiction, no matter how fucked up they are. You should never put yourself at blame, and you should never give in to the blame that person gives you, if they do give you blame. And that's kind of a no-brainer, but just, you should know that you should never be at blame for that. The other thing is, sometimes you don't entirely know whether or not your guardian or someone you love, a spouse, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, someone who's close to you, even if you just want to help them out, if you're not directly in their life, I guess, like a best friend or a cousin, sometimes you may not know whether or not that they're an alcoholic, or if they even struggle with that. And so, but there are signs, and I mean, it's taken me a long time to figure those signs out, but initially those signs to look for is like just kind of that hidden behavior, the irritability, just them acting weird. And the way a friend mentioned it is, I told him, my dad would always act really off, and he hid his alcoholism from us, like, for a really long time. And he was an alcoholic my whole life, up until I was 20 years old. And, he kept it from us because we were a religious family, and he wanted to keep his reputation. But, I look at it now, and there were clear signs that, yes, this man was an alcoholic. And some of those signs is like behavior of like acting weird. And when I say weird, my friend, I told this to a friend, and he's like, so like, would he act weird and say funny shit? I'm like, no, he'd say like stuff that's just, it's like, what? Like, just douchey stuff. He's like, so he'd say cunty things. I'm like, yeah, that's a strong way of putting it, but yeah, no, he would say, he'd say things like, is that your real name? Is your real name Ariel? Like, he said that to a waitress, or he'd be like, he'd just say some really douchey, borderline abusive stuff, and, I remember when I was 13, we were going out to dinner to celebrate something, and, I mean, yeah, I could be a little annoying. I was a kid. I was 13 years old, and the other thing is, I have high-functioning autism, so I don't totally know social social cues, and so I was like, yeah, woohoo! My father because I did that, screamed at me to shut up. Legit screamed at me because I was excited. And that was normal for him, and he blamed his diabetes on his temper tantrums due to alcoholism, and I would always constantly put myself at blame for his behavior, and it's unacceptable. And I have a lot of pain and a lot of hurt and a lot of hatred for him because of that. And for anyone who's dealing with stuff like that, you should know you are completely not at fault, and know that if you feel down on yourself because you're being verbally abused or physically abused by someone who struggles with alcohol addiction, know that it's not your fault, and that you do have a voice. Because I know I'm just one person. This video probably won't be seen, first off, because I have as of now 61 subscribers. I've hardly anyone. People watch me for the memes, not for the seriousness, and I don't blame them, but know that you are loved, and I'm rooting for you, because I've gone through that exact thing I just said. The blame, the hurt, the verbal abuse, sometimes physical abuse. Yes, I've dealt with domestic abuse, and it wasn't constant, but it happened. I was slapped around for yelling at my dad when I was 8. He slapped me in the face. I was given a black eye when I got into a fight with my dad, and it's that thing where it's like, oh, I deserved it, or it's like, it was just a slap, or this. It's like, it's still domestic abuse, and like I said, don't blame yourself and don't make excuses. What's happened has happened, and, if you're ever having those thoughts, just remember, yeah, I've been a victim of this behavior, and that it's not okay. It's never okay, and you should just know that you're loved, and that, there are ways around it, and there's ways to get help. Call a support line. Call a family member you trust. Call a friend. Speak out about it through social media. Voice it out. Make art. And, of course, the alcohol, if it runs in your family and it's destroyed your family, I'm not going to tell you what to do, of course, but it's going to be a good idea to avoid drugs and substances if you deal with addictive behavior. And I've fallen into that trap, and I'm at great risk of becoming an alcoholic. And honestly, I deal with a lot of that addictive behavior, and I'm guilty of it. I'm totally guilty of it. It's not good, but just know that there are healthy ways to cope, that you don't have to go down the same path that that your abuser went down, or whoever's hurt you or wronged you, someone you love, someone who's prominent in your life, someone you trust. You don't have to go down that same path, and just, you're loved, and this is just a message, to anyone who's been abused, or who's dealt with someone who has ruined their own life, and your life, of course, with just the horrors of alcoholism. I don't know how else to put it, but just know that you are loved, and that you're great, and you have a voice, and you have a friend in me, because I dealt with someone who was addicted to it my whole life without knowing. And now I'm just kind of reflecting on it, and reflecting on the whole rest of my life, now knowing that I had an alcoholic father. I'm 23 now. I was 20 when I figured it all out, so I've got a long ways to go. But yeah, just know that you're loved. So, signing off. I hope you guys have a wonderful night. Enjoy and stay safe. I love you guys sincerely. Again, sorry for the downer of a video, but, you know, I'm here. I'm here for all you guys. Love you. Good night.